So when it comes to buying a smartwatch, there's always the best choice and the worst choice, but it's very personalized and individual. So it's very based on your environment, the things you want to do with it, the features you want, and obviously the price point. And I'm going to help you decide which watch is best for you based on the features, price point, and the things you want for your workouts, your daily routine. Kind of help you get the watch that fits best for you because it's very personalized per each user. And also, if you're a lover of Fitbit and Google, or Fitbit, Google, whatever you want to call it at this point, because they're one company technically, I have some ideas where the Fitbit line of smartwatches are going to go and the Pixel Watch line of smartwatches are going to go over the next few years, and I'll talk about that later in the video. But now let's dig into those smartwatches and find the one that's best for you. So currently, because of the holidays, or maybe the watches are not selling as well as they thought they would be, they're currently priced at the Versa 4 at $180, the Sense 2 at $230, and the Pixel at $320. One of the big differences that are between the Fitbit Versa 4 and the Sense 2 is the Sense 2 has a few more features, and the things that are missing on the Versa 4 are the Ecg and the skin temperature and a few little health metrics, but overall the Versa 4 and the Sense 2 are pretty identical, minus the really big huge feature that I would say that's missing on there is the Ecg. And I'll dig in a little more who I think needs that watch with an Ecg sensor. The difference between the Fitbit watches and the Pixel Watch is the one thing that's missing on the Pixel Watch is the blood oxygen, which I'm a little disappointed since every other smartwatch, like the Apple Watch, the Samsung watches, have the blood oxygen on them on the high-end watches per se. And another big thing that differentiates the Fitbit line versus the Pixel line is that on the Fitbit line, if you're an iPhone user or an Android user, you can use those watches. The Pixel Watch is very mainstream to having only compatibility with Android, and that is for the reason probably to compete with Apple, to have their own smartwatch with their own line and things like that. So those are really the big differences. So now let's dig in to help you figure out which one's best for you and which one you should pick. And if I don't cover something and you have any questions, please comment down below with your question. I'll make sure to get back to you as soon as possible with my best answer or my thought on what's best for you. So one big thing when you want to try to buy a smartwatch in the Fitbit or Pixel line, you got to think about, what do you truly want? Are you a fitness person who fitness is the main reason you want to buy a watch? Or are you a person who likes tech, likes all the techy gadgety stuff, and you just want a smart watch with all the fancy features with fitness on it? So for example, I personally have a Garmin, and I am on the fitness side, so I tailor my watches when I buy them towards the fitness side of it, because I want to get the pluses of all the fitness features. I want to get the longer battery life, and I don't mind cutting out the smart app features. For example, if you were to buy the Fitbit Versa 4 or the Sense 2, you're not going to get the same applications that you get on the Pixel Watch with the Google Play Store. You're really focusing all on the fitness side of it. The GPS, the battery life of 6 days, the fact that you can do that with music for multiple days. You don't even have to charge it once a day. So if you're going in that direction, I would go with the Fitbit Versa and the Fitbit Sense. If you're just looking for a daily watch that is focused on health, you're not going to be doing any smart things on there because you're limited by the apps that are on it. And that is your day-to-day true watch, where it's just like having something on your wrist. You can get a workout when you need to, and you don't have to worry about the battery life. On the flip side is, if you're on the, I'll call luxury side / fancy side, and you're looking for a smartwatch which has all the features, the touch, the smoothness, but also want the fitness, then I would go for the Pixel Watch. So the one big difference I would say from the Fitbit line to the Pixel is you obviously have a faster processor on the Pixel Watch versus the Fitbit watches, and you can definitely tell if you were to get them in your hands and slide through in the smoothness, and that's obviously because they're more premium built in my opinion, and meant for all the applications that could be run on there, and to be able to handle all that processing power. So that's the big differentiator. The other thing that I would say is that when it comes to smartwatches, you can't really get both of both worlds, at least in the decade that we are now. You can't get 6-day battery life like the Fitbit Versa and all the smart stuff that comes with the Pixel. So you have to gain one and lose the other. So that's kind of how I break those up. The other thing that some of the features that come on the watches, which kind of depends what you really need. So the fact that the Sense 2 and the Pixel watch have the Ecg sensor, that sensor is definitely good. It definitely saved a lot of lives with people who have been wearing the Apple Watch and other devices. But it's very niche in my opinion. It's for somebody who's on the older side, for their parents or the elderly, to be able to have that feature on their wrist to make sure that their heart is doing well, and everything's okay. So for somebody who's healthy and doing workouts, I don't think an ECG feature is that necessary. The one thing I do think is necessary, which the Pixel Watch is missing, and this is where I would think if you're really into fitness, you would not buy the Pixel Watch, is the blood oxygen sensor. If you're doing a run or a workout, or stressing out your body, you'd actually want to see where your blood oxygen level is, or if you're feeling sick, you can measure that on your wrist. So that's definitely kind of the big differentiator, was that the fitness stuff is really focused on the Fitbit, while the Pixel has the fitness stuff but tailored towards the smartwatch. So now let's talk about where the Pixel line and the Fitbit line are going to be in the presumed 3 to 5 years. So starting with the Pixel line, since this is the first generation of the watch, there's obviously things that users are not happy with, things they'd like to improve on, and obviously you can't get everything right from the first try, but this is where they're going to learn a lot of the mistakes they made and get user input of the things they want. One of the big things obviously is people are not they don't like the fact that there's only one size of the watch. Like the Apple Watch, there's one made for small wrists and big wrists, and this watch is kind of on the smaller side, plus it has the bigger bezel, which kind of kills some of the display and makes it even smaller. So that's definitely one thing I see in the future, is that they're going to remove the bezels to make more use of the screen, and they're probably also going to make two sizes, just like the Apple Watch has, to accommodate people with bigger wrists and people with smaller wrists. The other things that I see is that there's going to be more features that are going to be pushed over to the Pixel Watch, like the blood oxygen eventually, and menstrual cycles and stuff like that. But they're still going to stay probably in the same range of 18 to 24 hours, 1-day battery life, and stay very on the high end, luxury, have all the applications you want on the watch. And it's going to turn into this iteration of kind of what Apple Watch has been doing for years, where they're going to build and add new features in the health aspect, and workout aspect, stuff like that. On the flip side, where I see the Fitbit line going is, I think they're going to stay true to where they're at. Since Fitbit and Google are now one company, obviously some of the Google features like the Google Assistant and the microphone and the speakers on the watch that are on this iteration are going to get better and better. So there's going to be Google features that would get slowly trickled onto the Fitbit line, but you're not going to get the full benefits of all the apps you see on the Play Store. I think it's still going to be a Fitbit OS mixed in with some Google features, while still staying true to their 6 battery day life, adding more fitness features, focusing on the fitness features, and kind of keeping that smartwatch very light, probably slower processors for many reasons, like keeping the cost down and not needing to be able to run any of the stuff on the Play Store. So those lines I think are going to stay true. They might maybe cut some watches out because they have a lot of SKUs, from bands to kids to the first and Sense line. So I kind of see where I see those lines going in the pure fitness, with the trickling of the Google. So yes, they are one company, they're merging, but I don't think those lines are going to die. I don't think when the Pixel Watch hits Pixel Watch 5, the Fitbit version isn't going to exist. I think it's going to exist for the Fitbit lovers, for the fitness lovers, and those are going to grow and grow and grow.